Hey, welcome to our video on protecting your small business from cybercriminals. Hi, my name's Dave Mulvey. I'm the owner of A&P, and for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to take you through how you can protect your business from being ransomware attacked. A little about our business. We manage customers that have anywhere from 20 to 500 PCs. We help them implement a proven IT strategy. We've been doing this for 36 years. And through implementing that strategy, we can remove all the IT noise in their environment, whether it's on-prem or through the cloud, so that they can focus on growing their business. And I can demonstrate that our clients are able to achieve 4 times more value and productivity from their IT investments than if they hadn't done business with us. So that's a little about us. Let's get back to protecting your small business from cyber criminals. This is our first video in a series that I'm going to make, helping a business owner understand what's going on from a security perspective and what the risks are of owning a small business right now with your own IT. And I think we'll start out here by just letting you know cyber criminals are focused right now on relentlessly attacking your business. And this is happening from nation states, overseas, as well as just enterprising criminals. The cyber attacks are really focused on attacking your employees, and in particular, your remote employees. And due to COVID, almost all of our employees are remote right now. It used to be in the day you would deploy a firewall, and you'd put that firewall between the internet and your small business local area network, and that perimeter security device, we'd think, we're okay now. We've made the proper investments. We also have antivirus turned on our PCs, and we're good to go. Well, those days are gone. And I'll take you through that. I'm going to explain that to you so you understand that what used to be okay is certainly no longer adequate. Your IT needs to evolve into this ever-changing cybersecurity landscape, and I'm going to help you through that. And this series will be able to take you through so you understand in the end really what you need to do so you're educated and really have a good sense of what the risk is as well as what the countermeasures should be. Ransomware is wildly on the rise, and simply put, unfortunately, cyber crime really pays, and it pays big. Last year, ransomware attacks grew at a rate of 700%, and successful attacks of ransomware grew almost by $5 billion in payments over 2019. During 2020. We're almost doubling year over year how much ransomware is getting paid by small businesses. The Department of Homeland Security believes that ransomware and cybercrime is the #1 risk that small businesses in this country are facing right now. And unfortunately, those businesses that did fall prey at becoming a victim in 2020, they fell prey because they failed to do some fundamental things that I'll be able to teach you in this series. So hopefully it won't happen to you. What's interesting is when a cyber criminal does get into your network, you would think that the next day they'd think, hey, it's payday time, and start to encrypt your data, but they don't. What they do is they're in your network for hundreds of days as they roam around, take inventory, take stock, and really try to pick the perfect time to attack you that's best for them, but not good for you. And if your company does become a victim, the financial results in any of many different ways that we're going to talk about in this video will be devastating. So as I mentioned, the growth from 17, it was a $5 billion business. In 2019, an $11 billion business. And in 2020 now, it's a $20 billion business. That's B, B for boy, billion. And to me, that's hard to imagine how many small business payouts there have been in 2020. Here in Philadelphia, I've seen this with my own eyes in our managed service practice. I can't tell you how many times small business prospects, people we're not doing business with, are calling up and telling me their ransomware tale of woe. And it's a sad story. And needless to say, when the CEO calls, they're desperate. for help because their data is encrypted, their business is literally stopped in its place. And what do you do for them, and how do you help them? It's become a $6 trillion problem in the U.S. economy, because it's not just a question of how much ransomware you had to pay, but more than likely during the ransomware period, when you're either trying to recover your data yourself or you're paying a ransom to get a key to unencrypt your data, your business is stopped. You're not selling, your employees aren't working. It takes a gigantic toll on you. Very frustrating. So what does that emotional toll look like? Well, I think the first thing is when I get these phone calls, and I'm getting them constantly, you can tell the CEO that was once really focused on growing their business, building their management team, all that's out the window. They're in desperation mode, wanting to get their backups back and recovered, or figure out, hey, how do I negotiate with the cyber criminal to lower the ransomware? And it's humiliating. You have to tell your employees, hey, you can't come to work for a week. None of our systems are working. And God forbid, if you're under a contractual obligation, you might have to tell your clients that their data and your data is encrypted at the moment. And then, of course, there's the emotional worry at night. Could you imagine having all your data in your business encrypted and go home and try to go to sleep? I couldn't sleep through that. You're constantly worried. Am I going to be able to recover my data? Is this going to bankrupt my business, or can I get back in business? And so there's just this overall overarching worry about what impact will this cyber attack have on my own business. But there's also an operational and a reputational toll to the business. Operationally, we talked about downtime. Very typically, during a successful cyber attack, the business is going to be down for 3 to 6 days, and that's if you can recover your backups. If you can't recover your backups and you have to start a negotiation with a cyber criminal, you could be down for 2 weeks. And imagine, I know I could not run my business if my line of business software wasn't available. We come to a hard stop. So there's not only that that operational issue, but there's also the reputation of having to tell your employees, as I mentioned, or possibly even losing a client in this process once you have to come clean and tell them what's happened to your data and their data. And God forbid this gets leaked out into the local radio station, a TV station, or a local newspaper. There's a lot of public interest about cybercrime. And so the minute a news organization finds out that you've been attacked, whether it was successful or not, or whether you were able to fend it off or not, your business is probably going to become a local news story. And that's not the kind of publicity that, as business owners, we're looking for. And then, more than likely, if you do have hopefully you have a cyber insurance policy at this point. And if you do, once you're attacked, part of the requirements in that policy are you have to tell them. And there's good reasons to tell them, but then you worry about the risk of if there is a ransomware payment that you might be dropped, and then finding the next carrier to pick you up can be difficult, because you literally have to report to them whether or not you've paid ransomware in the past. But there's also a great financial toll, and obviously the most important one is, what if you have to pay the ransom? And I had mentioned to you before that cyber criminals don't pounce once they're in your network, but roam around. One of the things they're doing while they're roaming around is trying to gain access to your accounting system. And once they gain access to your accounting system, the first thing they want to know is, how much money are you carrying in your bank balance? And typically, it used to be when ransomware first started a couple of years ago, it was the cyber criminal would purchase a pre-made piece of software that would actually request the ransom. And because it was pre-made and it was already scripted, it'd be asking for $1,000, $10,000, a payment that most businesses could handle. Now, though, they want to know what your bank balance is. And if you're carrying $1 million, $2 million of cash in the checking accounts to float your payroll, to float your receivables, they're going to be asking for that or more when they finally do attack you. And then there's also the financial toll of just employee loss of productivity. You're more than likely going to have to ask your employees to stop coming to work for a week or so while you try to figure out how you're going to recover your data. And then during that week or two that you're down, you're not selling anything either. So so there's a revenue hit. There is a employee hit, and from a productivity perspective, any way you look at this, it's going to ruin the quarter for sure. And then if you do have to pay ransomware, the next thing that happens is the insurance company is going to want to have you hire, they're going to request that you hire a third-party cyber forensic insurance incident response company. And the whole idea here is for them to forensically figure out what happened, how did it happen, how long have they been in your network, and the insurance company needs to know this. And frankly, you want to know it too, because it's going to do it how you're. There'll also be a payment for a third-party forensic incident response company. And that company will be requested to be hired. It would either be hired by the insurance company or through your business. And the purpose of that is for the forensic incident response company to figure out what happened. Who got in? How they get in? How long have they been in? And is there any other issue being left behind here that could be a problem in the future? And this is something, not only is the insurance company entitled to this, it's written into your policy, but it's also good information for you to have so you can make sure you've really locked things down after the attack. And then, of course, you can expect anytime you use your insurance, more than likely your premiums are going to go up. And it's not a bad thing in the sense that most of the businesses, when I talk to them, they are not purchasing enough cyber insurance coverage right now, and cyber insurance policies are getting much more expensive. Ours here in our business, and because we manage so many businesses, are considered at a higher risk than just a single business, and our premiums are going through the roof. I think it's appropriate. It's frustrating, but I think I can understand from an insurance company's perspective why they're taking that position. So overall, financial toll, just a loss of revenue, a loss of productivity, and just no good outcomes here. So if we summarize, what I'm sharing with you is ransomware is just growing exponentially. And unfortunately, your business is under attack 24 hours a day, and your employees are under attack 24 hours a day. And if a ransomware attack is successful, it will be all-consuming for you. There'll be an emotional and a financial a toll on you and on your business. And I think the best takeaway I could ask for you to do after watching this video is talk to your insurance broker about your cyber insurance policy. What kind of coverage do you have right now? If you do get hit, what are the expectations? What's the deductible? How much in payment will you get for ransomware? These are things you need to know, and you know what kind of bank balance you're running right now typically in your business, and you better make sure that the cyber policy will pay at least that amount out in a ransomware payment. So if you're unsure really of kind of where you are right now with your business, we'd be happy to talk to you. I would encourage you to speak to your own IT provider first and see what kind of answers you get. But if you'd like to talk to us, I'm happy to speak to you. We have a team of people here at AMP that have a lot of knowledge in this area, and I think could be very, very educational for you. In our next video, the second video in this series, we're actually break down what does a common cyber attack look like, and they come at you a couple of different ways, and I'm going to share those with you. And I think once you understand what the attack profile looks like, well, then you can better understand, well, how do we block them? How do we stop them? And I'm also going to, in the second video, talk a little bit deeper about how do your employees' behavior play into this, and how do the cyber criminals take advantage of your employees. So really interesting. I think you'll get a kick at it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you thought it was good, hey, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Selfishly, I'm asking for that. And if you don't want to subscribe to the channel, would you be kind enough to just hit the thumbs up button that you like the video, you like the content here? That tells YouTube when anyone searches for cyber criminals or small businesses, our video would get recommended for someone else to watch it. So I'd appreciate a thumbs up if you liked it. And then don't hesitate to enter any comments or questions you might have below the video here. I'm going to pay attention to the comments, and I promise we'll be responding. So again, thanks. I really appreciate it. I'm Dave Mulvey with Advanced Network Products. I'm the founder and CEO of the business. You can reach out to me directly if you want at 215-572-0111, or just email me at connect@amp.net. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.